And 1, 2, 3. Nerd Talk.
Nerd Talk.
Nerd Talk.
Nerd Talk.
I'm Derek.
I'm Justin. Nerd Talk.
So what are we discussing today?
We have a lot of things to talk about, Derek.
It's been like 3 weeks.
Forever.
I don't know if I go that far.
I mean, you know, it's been forever. We've been, but it's okay. We have a lot to talk about.
So where are we going to start?
Preacher.
Preacher. Okay. So since last time we said there were rumors about who they were casting as
The lead.
The lead. It was Dominic Cooper.
Yeah. Still not confirmed, but other things.
But they cast Arseface, Tulip, and Cassidy.
They did. There's like almost unknown actor named Ian Coletti as Arseface, Ruth Negga as Tulip, which she was in. What's she in? She's in something.
I'm not sure. I didn't recognize her name.
And then like Joe Gilgan as Cassidy. They're all like people that they're not.
They're relative unknowns.
Yeah, they're not in a whole lot. Of
Joe Gilligan was in This Is Britain, or This Is England, or something like that.
Well, cool.
I don't know that much.
Fair
But
enough.
I've never seen it.
Really?
So I've never seen any of their work.
Yeah, and I haven't actually read Preacher, so I have no.
Yeah.
But
I've been reading it because I wanted to know what was going on, like when the show came around. It's a good comic series.
yeah, I know.
I really enjoy it.
I've always wanted to read it.
I'm excited to see who they cast as Jesse.
Yeah.
But Arseface would be interesting.
Yeah.
Since it'd be some cool makeup and stuff.
Of course, that'd have to be.
Guy kind of like blew his face off and lived through it, so his face is all fucked up.
Ah, man.
And
That was
Tulip's
horrible.
Jesse's girlfriend, and she's a hit girl.
Yeah.
And Cassidy's a Irish vampire.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
maybe some cool characters.
It'll be an interesting show.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Seth Rogen
Yeah.
doing it, so it'll be fun. Look out for that coming on AMC.
It'll be interesting. You know what I'm excited about?
Deadpool.
Derek, you're so genius.
Mind reading.
I know. We have seen him in costume. He released this image as, him in costume, which is pretty cool.
It looks like the Deadpool costume.
It looks like Deadpool. That's
and
nice.
he's definitely doing a Deadpool-like style pose, making it humorous.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's going to be cool.
There's also been, more talk about the ratings.
Which it came out on April Fool's Day.
Yes, and
which confuses me a lot.
They said, Fox said it was in PG-13.
And then Ryan Reynolds came out with a video.
Yeah.
And no, it's R.
Yeah, basically what he was doing it's like in the video he was getting interviewed by Slater from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
And Slater was all like, "Oh, I'm really happy about the PG-13 rating. I think it's so good that family friendly, whatever." And then suddenly Deadpool walks up behind him and hits him with like a light box or something like that. And then it says like, "April Fool's kids, it's gonna be Deadpool will be rated R." So I mean, first of all, the movie's not made entirely yet.
Yeah.
It's all going to be up to the MPAA, and then if they, whatever. But it's exciting that they're aiming for that. And I think Ryan Reynolds even did have a tweet that said, there's a lot of cursing, there's a lot of, bloodshed.
And chimichangas.
And chimichangas.
A lot of chimichangas.
So, let's hope for our personally, there's, some PG-13 movies can get away with stuff, and I get they'll make more money, but rated R, I think, is the way to go for Deadpool.
And they did say that, what was her name that got cast that they never said who it was?
Marina.
Yeah, they said she was going to be playing the character Copycat.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of like a Mystique-style shape-shifting character.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that. Which, that's cool and all, but, at the same time, it's come on.
It's they should have picked something with different powers.
Yeah.
And she's important to, the Deadpool story, I would guess, but still, it's, something we've seen.
Exactly. But speaking of X-Men...
and Mystique.
Jennifer Lawrence. This might be her last outing in X-Men Apocalypse.
Which is sad. She's an excellent Mystique.
She's an excellent Mystique, but I think even the guy who plays Beast said that he thought it would be his last one.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
Maybe they'll get someone older or something for the next ones.
Because I think we've talked about before, if they continue this whole 10 years later thing...
They're going to have to be aging quicker than the actor's age.
Which we realize that, Jennifer Lawrence... They've explained that Mystique doesn't age as much, but, you're going to get to a point where James McAvoy... Yeah. You're going to get to a point where James McAvoy needs to be looking like Patrick Stewart. He needs to be looking pretty old and not,
Well, she is going bald for this one, isn't he?
I think so. I think he said he wanted to at least, but I don't know if they confirmed it. And really with Beast, they could probably recast Beast if they just leave him in Beast mode the whole time.
Yeah, and he would have to get to that point eventually anyways.
Yeah. But I'm also okay with them not using Mystique because we've seen a lot of Mystique. I want more Beast for sure.
Yeah.
But we've seen a lot of Mystique throughout the series, and it wouldn't bother me that she's not going to be in there, you know.
But we're going to be seeing some new characters as well. That's going to be interesting to see, like Angel.
Yeah.
Which we saw in X3.
Right.
Haven't seen him since then.
He was underutilized in X3.
Oh, very underutilized.
Especially as the actor, because Ben Foster's awesome.
I am excited that we're going to be seeing him since Angel is very important to the Age of Apocalypse universe.
I agree.
Archangel.
That gets me excited about, you know, the potential. Bryan Singer released like a concept art that was obviously Angel, and then now there's rumors that the actor Ben Hardy, who was up for Cyclops, they said was cast in an unknown but important role. He could be Angel.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm definitely excited to see Angel, and I'm excited to see, because there's obviously, like, even with maybe if Nicholas Hoult and Jennifer Lawrence don't appear, they're obviously adding more
X-Men.
So that they can
put Nightcrawler in there and stuff like that.
That's true. And Jubilee, they've casted.
Which I don't understand the point in that one.
No, there's no point.
In one way, I think it's kind of cool because she was prominent in the 90s X-Men cartoon.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
So she was there for our generation. If we didn't read the comics, we watched that cartoon and we knew who Jubilee was.
Yeah.
But we still hated her.
Yeah, she's kind of the butt of a joke, you know.
Jubilee sucks.
I hope that it's just a really small part. Maybe we get to see her spit her fireworks and then and then she's done. But I don't know. Maybe they'll find a way to make her cool. But it's I don't know.
I was assuming if there was any way to make her cool, it would be to make her Gambit-like.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But then, what's the point of making the Gambit movie if they're going to make Jubilee Gambit?
That's true. Let's
not. Really, they do the same thing, but she's fireworks instead of being awesome.
That's true, but let's not talk about Gambit because we're obviously still a little butthurt over the Channing Tatum.
Butthurt over Gambit and Jubilee.
Yeah, but Hugh Jackman, who just said that he wanted to play Wolverine until he died,
has now teased the last run of Wolverine.
Yeah, he had a photo that he put on Twitter or something like that of him in a claws, and it says
Wolverine for the last time.
Yeah, one last time, and it's well, what does that mean? Is it? I think maybe it means it's the last planned showing, or maybe he just means the last Wolverine movie.
Or maybe Wolverine's going to lose his claws. Maybe it's something as simple as that, and people are thinking too far into it. Maybe it's claws for the last time.
Maybe that could be.
Maybe I'm thinking too far into it right now.
Maybe you're thinking too far into it. But really, I don't know. You can't not have Wolverine. I definitely don't want to recast it right now. Maybe in the future.
I can't see anyone else playing Wolverine.
No, me neither. Maybe if they really do sort of new trilogy of X-Men following you have this young Cyclops and Jean Grey. Maybe in this next trilogy have Wolverine pop up. But it doesn't, maybe recast it depending on how Hugh Jackman looks, if he's starting to look old or something. Yeah. But I don't know.
But that's more reason to do Old Man Logan.
That's true. Old Man Logan would be badass.
And if they don't use Hugh Jackman for Old Man Logan, know who they should use?
Who?
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood would be a damn good Wolverine.
Well, and what's interesting actually is if in Wolverine 3, even if they kill Wolverine off for some reason, technically he could still pop up in X-Men Apocalypse because this takes place
in a different universe.
Yeah, well, it may not be in a different universe, but
that's true.
We don't know what it's going to be. But it would definitely, in theory, take place before Wolverine 3 would. So
that's true.
Moving on to Ninja Turtles. I know, starting to film soon. The sequel to Ninja Turtles, the much-loved Ninja Turtles movie. I'm just kidding. We're not talking about those. We're talking about the bad one.
It was terrible.
So bad, but we're getting a sequel because it made money.
It's cool they're putting Casey Jones in it.
They are. They have cast Casey Jones.
He's one of the best Turtles characters.
I agree, and I don't mind this actor. They cast Stephen Amell, who plays Arrow in Arrow.
Yeah.
He's good in the show, and the show is good. And really, I think it's smart of them to cast him because he has a huge following because the show's so good and people really like the show. Plus, he's probably not going to be as expensive as better actors who probably could have done it just as well or better.
Yeah.
I'm not stoked for the casting, but I'm not underwhelmed or anything like that.
Yeah.
When you're in a movie where they cast Megan Fox as April O'Neil, it's hard to really.
It's hard to take it seriously, even.
yeah, that too.
And there's rumors that they might be going with the storyline for the second movie, for what they just did in the comics, where Donatello gets killed off.
They better not kill Donatello. I'll be really pissed.
I agree. I'm still furious that the comics did that.
It's pretty bold for the comics to do, and I'm honestly surprised they haven't done it before because it's such a big thing in comic books to kill a character like that.
And the new run of the comics I've been reading is really good. Very throwback to the originals.
Yeah.
There's swearing and blood.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool.
But I can't see them doing that for the movies at all, since especially
they're a lot more kid friendly.
The Ninja Turtles are really a lot more kid friendly these days with the show on Nickelodeon and Lego sets and stuff like that.
Exactly. as long as it's better than the last movie with less plot holes and less stupid shit, then
just make it more of a throwback.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know what would be awesome though? Idris Elba being the villain in Star Trek 3.
I can't think of anything more awesome right now.
You know, I think we talked last time where apparently there was a rumor that Bryan Cranston could have been up for it.
Yeah.
But Idris Elba I think is just as awesome because
they're both really cool.
Oh, they're both super cool.
But Idris Elba's like we want him to do everything.
He should do everything, so he should be in this. And him playing a villain is exciting too because
that's not something he normally does.
Right. And everybody always talks about him being like a hero or something, but you know what? Him being a villain can be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I am incredibly excited. I think it's a really good move for them.
And Star Trek 3, like, it was getting down there where I wasn't too excited about it for a while, but now it's like getting back up there. I'm like, I'm getting more stoked for this again.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Like with Simon Pegg helping with writing and stuff.
Right.
And because it had its struggles there for a little bit.
But I have faith in
It's coming back.
Simon Pegg.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be good.
Oh, it's going to be good.
So speaking of shaving heads.
Okay. That was because that segue makes sense. How about you say, speaking of super villains or something?
Oh, that works.
Okay, speaking of villains in movies. Go on, Derek.
Speaking of villains in movies.
Oh, good segue.
Thank you. It's better than some of the other ones I could have chosen. But we got a photo of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
That's right. What a mouthful.
It really is.
Yeah, what did you think?
I was impressed.
Yeah, it looked better than I thought.
It looked a lot better than I thought. Jesse Eisenberg he looks evil with his shaven head.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know.
Like, I expected it to be a lot more goofy.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's kind of funny how a simple thing is just seeing him with a bald head makes me feel better about it. But it really
like,
does.
It kind of gave me nightmares a little.
Really? Was that creepy?
Like, I was picturing Jesse Eisenberg in a giant robot breaking through the window of my house and taking me.
It's believable now. Now that we've seen him bald, it just makes perfect sense.
Or, stealing from a bank or robbing, like taking cake or something.
I was reading that a lot of people were just like, oh, we knew he was going to be bald. It still doesn't mean he's a good actor or whatever. But I don't know. It's still like a good show of faith in a way. You know, like, I don't know. And I haven't been completely against the casting as other people have or as you were, Yeah,
but I've accepted something. Like, I've started realizing no matter who's cast for what part, people are like pissed about it. Like,
it's true.
When Heath Ledger got cast for Joker or Jack Nicholson got cast for Joker, people hated it.
That's true. When Ben Affleck was cast as Batman.
Ben Affleck was cast as Batman.
Granted, we don't know how that's going to be yet, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
When Daniel Craig was James Bond.
Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, people were always like, no, they can't do that.
And they were awesome.
Yeah. And they do well. So maybe Jesse Eisenberg can do all right.
That's true. I'm glad you have. That's a good way to think about it. And I think that's what they.
If Mr. Mom was Batman.
That's true. They can do. Anybody can do anything. That's how we should feel about everything. Like even with Fantastic Four, everybody should be.
Unless it's Channing Tatum as Gambit.
I was going to say the same thing. Unless it's Channing Tatum as Gambit, then no.
Or as a Ghostbuster.
Bad. But you know what? Suicide Squad. We've talked about it in every episode, and obviously we're going to keep talking about it until it comes out. Because there's always something new.
It's a big thing.
They keep adding cast members. And now granted, these are probably small parts. But man, this cast is going to be huge.
It's an enormous cast. But you're right. It probably will be small parts. Like you see them, like maybe in passing.
Yeah, like
or something like that. But man, they're getting.
Yeah, like if it's true that the Joker isn't Arkham, then a lot of this makes perfect sense. Or some of it makes perfect sense.
Especially if it's like that far in Batman's career, like a lot of his bigger villains would be in there.
For example, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, so don't judge us for this. But Mr. Echo from Lost, you will see a picture. He was recently in Thor: The Dark World actually as a villain, and.
And he hasn't done a lot since his stint in Lost, but he's definitely a good actor.
He's popped up, but he's playing Killer Croc, which is going to be very interesting to see on film, see how they do it, if it's going to be like a deformed guy, if he's really going to look like a
crocodile.
It probably really depends on how they're doing this world, Because they're obviously not going to go Nolan. We know that they kind of can't. Otherwise, it's going to get compared too much to that. As much, even though it already is, but you know what I mean. Because
Nolan's just ended and they're bringing in a new one.
Yeah. But that would be an interesting character to see. Same with King Shark. They've cast this boxer named Raymond Olivawali or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I pronounced that right. I'm proud.
I think he did really well.
But he's rumored anyways. He has been casted, but it's rumored that he's doing motion capture for King Shark.
And that's kind of a lesser known Batman villain.
Right.
So it's interesting why they chose that one instead of some of the other ones.
Yeah, and that'd be a really. It's almost random anyway.
Yeah.
But. But yeah, I think I saw that he could be like muscle for someone in the Suicide Squad or for Amanda Waller, even like a bodyguard or something.
Okay.
Which means it could be a pretty small part, but.
Well, if he's going to be doing mocap for that, then I would assume that Adewale or is Mr. Echo is going to be doing mocap for.
Oh, he could be. That's a good point.
Killer Croc.
Depending on the direction they go,
Yeah.
That's a good point. They also cast Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's son, who's been doing a lot of stuff lately. And it's not confirmed, but it's rumored that he is playing a character that will be Wonder Woman's love interest, which means he could be in the film. And really, it's probably smart of him to do that because he is doing movies and he's probably going to be a hot commodity, so it's probably good to get him now before he's got some Nicholas Sparks movie that's about to come out, and so I imagine that's going to shoot him up in popularity,
And he's Clint Eastwood's son.
So he's set anyways.
Yeah.
He recently had a part in Fury, and I remember he wasn't bad. He wasn't like a memorable.
Who was he in Fury?
He was a guy who died.
Okay.
He was in one of the other tank groups.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it was a smaller part. I mean, I don't remember him being bad, but I don't remember him standing out or anything necessarily either.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be interesting to see all these other characters. I forgot to mention when we were talking about Jesse Eisenberg that we might see a Batman vs Superman trailer in front of Mad Max.
Yeah.
Which really even makes me more excited for that movie because that movie is obviously going to kick ass.
Oh, Mad Max is going to be amazing. Never mind. Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say what better way to enjoy Mad Max than to have that trailer? And that's in May, and I mean, who knows? It could come online sooner, but it's about that time. We're less than a year away. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen a teaser for it already.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of movies do that. Actually, Man of Steel had a teaser the year before it came out because they put it in front of Dark Knight Rises. So I'm really surprised that we haven't seen anything for it yet.
Yeah. Adam McKay, that's the name you've heard before.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Who is he?
He helped write Ant-Man.
Oh, okay, that's it.
The rewrite stuff. That's the only thing he's ever done in his life.
I don't believe you.
No, he's famous for several comedies, such as he did Anchorman,
Anchorman 2,
Anchorman 2, Step Brothers, 30 Minutes or Less.
No, not that one.
I was just thinking of another funny movie. A lot of those movies.
Yeah, those movies. Talladega Nights.
Yeah, a lot of Will Ferrell movies.
Only Will Ferrell. All Will Ferrell movies.
Which makes me think that Will Ferrell might be being a superhero soon.
Shit, because why do you think that, Derek?
Because Adam McKay is going to be directing an upcoming Marvel film.
Yeah, that is a rumor that we don't know. We don't know which one, and there's only a few left that don't have directors.
Yeah, so he could be doing
Thor 3, right? Or Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Inhumans, Spider-Man. Even though that's rumored that Drew Goddard is going to do that.
And maybe there's another Marvel movie out there that we don't know about.
Maybe.
But I picture it possibly being Inhumans.
You think so? Out of all those?
Yeah. Sorry, my mind went blank for a second for the word I was looking for.
I think he seems almost more fitting for a Spider-Man, but that's only because Spider-Man has humor and and I guess the last Thor movie was kind of silly.
Yeah.
But so maybe that one, but I can't say him. Yeah, I don't know. But they've been rumored for Drew Goddard for Spider-Man. So.
Because like we've discussed before, I couldn't see it being Captain Marvel. Because I could see that being a female director, or Black Panther being an African American director.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good direction for them to go, especially for Captain Marvel. I would love to see a female director do Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Catherine Bigelow doing Captain Marvel or something. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I agree. It's interesting to see what that means. He's only done comedies, so it'll be interesting to see him.
Yeah, definitely.
He was developing one for a long time. I think it's called The Boys, but nothing ever happened from it. But he was developing that for a long time. I don't remember if it was. I don't think it was for Marvel though. But it was a comic-based property, like a superhero-ish tale.
Okay.
And he helped. They offered him Ant-Man or considered him to direct Ant-Man, and he turned it down.
But he still co-wrote it with Paul Rudd for the rewrites.
So I don't know. We'll see.
But speaking of people that are directing Marvel movies, there's the Russo brothers.
Yeah, they have.
We know they did Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and they're doing Civil War.
And both of them are amazing movies, as you know.
Because obviously we know Captain America 3 Civil War is going to be good. There's no doubt about it.
It's going to be better than Winter Soldier, I would assume.
I hope so. Well, it's got.
Because the only way you can go is up.
That's true.
But anyways, they're going to be doing, as two people. The Russo brothers aren't one person.
Well, it's like the Wachowskis. They're basically one.
They're going to be doing the next string of Avengers movies because Joss Whedon isn't.
Right.
Which is a sad day.
I would like to think that he would still be involved in the writing process.
Probably executive producer or something.
Yeah, and maybe he writes them or at least helps write them.
Yeah,
has
the rough drafts.
Some sort of like creative consultant sort of thing.
Yeah. But that'd be Infinity Wars Part 1 and 2.
Yeah, you're gonna do both.
And one thing they have announced is that there's going to be a different lineup of Avengers.
Yeah, there is a new
which isn't surprising.
No. Especially after.
And we've introduced through all the Marvel movies we've had, there have been so many superheroes that have now been introduced.
Right. It only makes sense to
that one film's not big enough for all of them.
Yeah. Besides, we obviously know Civil War and Avengers 2 are going to change the game, so shit's going to happen. But the rumored lineup is going to be Falcon, Scarlet Witch, Vision, War Machine, and they're going to be led by Captain America and Black Widow. The interesting thing, they obviously didn't specify which Captain America because they probably don't want to spoil things too much.
Because we do know something's going to happen to Captain America.
They've been hinting for Bucky for Winter Soldier. Other people in the universe could be either dead, missing, or retired, which makes sense.
Yeah, where's Quicksilver going to be? Because
that's the one I was.
He's getting introduced in Age of Ultron,
and if Scarlet Witch is involved.
But he's not in that lineup, so something's going to happen there.
Either something's going to happen, or maybe it has to do with the rights thing with Fox. Maybe they only wanted to use it once.
Where's Spider-Man?
That's true. Well,
because he's going to be around before this point as well.
Well, that's true. Well, in that case, where's
Hawkeye?
Thor, where's Black Panther? Where's Doctor Strange? Where's Ant-Man? Because they're characters that are going to be introduced soon. Why wouldn't they be involved?
Exactly.
Now, granted, that could just be for Part 1, and they could bring people back in for Part 2, and that makes sense because they want Part 2 to be huge.
Now, I'm curious: is it going to be the same War Machine that we know? Is it still going to be Don Cheadle?
I hope so, because Don Cheadle's awesome.
Because Iron Man's not on this list.
That's true.
So he's in Tony Stark armor.
Yeah. Well, it makes me curious what will happen with Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love for Don Cheadle to be involved. But
and why would it be War Machine and not? I guess the Iron Patriot armor got compromised.
Right. Well, I'm mostly interested in the fact that we're about to introduce people like Doctor Strange and Ant-Man. Why aren't they
in that big lineup?
Yeah. Or even Guardians, which I know that James Gunn had said something about maybe they're not involved. But when you throw Thanos is a big plot point in Guardians of the Galaxy.
And in the Infinity Gauntlet story.
With the Avengers, they need to be involved in some way. So,
totally.
I don't know. I'm intrigued. I you never know. There may not be much validity in the rumor.
Yeah.
Or if there is, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Scarlet Witch, and Vision are going to have to be really badass in this next movie for you to even consider letting them only be a whole Avengers movie only be those characters.
Exactly.
But I have a feeling
because a lot of those are second string characters that we've seen.
Exactly, and now they've all Falcon and War Machine are back. Don Cheadle and Anthony Mackie have kicked ass.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would love for them to have bigger roles. But yeah.
And that would be big for them to be in an Avengers movie.
I agree. I don't know though. We'll see.
The one thing that they need to give us is Wolverine now.
If we gotta get Wolverine, I don't care what you said, Hugh Jackman, about your one last time. Work it out.
We need Wolverine in an Avengers movie.
We need you in an Avengers movie. We're getting Spider-Man.
If also we could get, really, I want Wolverine more than, Mr. Fantastic.
Me too. That I'm not mind.
Or any of the Fantastic Four.
But really, for real, Derek, for real, if we could get Wolverine, but also Magneto is somehow a threat to the Avengers in a villain sort of way.
Oh, totally.
That'd be pretty badass.
That would be badass.
That'd be badass.
Come on, Marvel.
Come on, Marvel. Get your shit together. Maybe it's Fox. Fox, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Pull a Sony and work shit out. But anyways, I'm sure we'll have a lot of things to bring you next time.
Definitely. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Keep watching and stuff.